Okay, so let's just dive right in. Have you ever been scrolling through your feed and seen footage from, a real-life conflict, and it just felt weirdly familiar, almost like you were watching a movie or playing a video game? Well, today we're going to unpack exactly why that is. We're going to explore this strange connection between our entertainment and modern warfare and what it's doing to our sense of reality.
It all starts with this bizarre comparison right here. On one side, you've got a post from the official TikTok account for the White House, and on the other, a clip from that wild animated series Skibbity Toilet. Now, at first glance, these two things could not be more different, right? I mean, one is a symbol of global power, and the other is, well, it's an internet meme about singing toilets. But you gotta look a little closer.
So what on earth connects official government social media with a cartoon about toilets fighting camera-headed people? The answer is actually pretty surprising, and it tells us a whole lot about how modern conflict gets packaged and basically sold to us. What's so wild is that in both of these totally different videos, the visual language is identical. Think about it. We see a first-person view, looking at a screen. Through that screen, a target gets selected and an attack is launched from a distance. And then, and this is the key part, you, the viewer, get that satisfying shot of the projectile hitting its target. It's a very specific, very deliberate playbook. And listen, this is not a coincidence. This isn't just some random artistic choice. This visual style has been carefully built up over the years, and it's used all over our media landscape. It's literally designed to feel familiar, to hook into something we already know deep down.
And I guarantee you have seen this visual language before. Just think about the targeting systems in games like Grand Theft Auto, or the cockpit displays in movies like Top Gun, or, pretty much any first-person shooter you've ever played. That interface, that perspective, that little target locked moment. It's the exact same vibe.
Okay, so here's the whole point. When real military operations are shown to us using the same visuals as our entertainment, it basically encourages us to get them mixed up. The line between a real-life military strike and a mission in a video game starts to get really blurry, and that's intentional. The real thing gets filtered through this cultural idea of what a cool or cinematic strike is supposed to look like.
And this blurring of the lines, this whole process where the simulation starts to feel more real than actual reality, yeah, there's a name for that. It's a really important concept that explains so much about the world we live in right now.
It's called hyperreality. This is the absolute core of what we're talking about today. Hyperreality is that weird state we get into where we can't tell the difference between reality and a simulation of it. We start interacting with the symbols and signs of a thing so much that we kind of forget what the raw, unfiltered, real thing even is.
And this right here shows you the gap perfectly. The symbol of war that we get from movies and games is totally depersonalized. It's detached. It has a nice, clean story with a satisfying ending, like beating a level. But the reality of war, it is the complete opposite. It's messy, it's bloody, and it is a deep personal tragedy for every single person involved. There are no respawns.
The platform itself plays a massive role here too. The moment you see a TikTok edit, your brain is already switched on for entertainment. It's a format you connect with dances, with memes, with funny trends. So when real footage of a military drone strike gets chopped up into a punchy music-filled TikTok, it just gets processed as more content, another cool clip to scroll past.
So, here's how it all works step by step. First, we spend years and years consuming fake images of war through all our entertainment. Second, we start seeing real-life conflict presented in that exact same gamified way. And the result? The real violence gets filtered through that fictional lens, and it just starts to feel less real, less severe.
And this has huge, real-world consequences. When a term like the Iran War starts getting thrown around in public, what's the first image that pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's not the brutal human reality on the ground. Instead, it's an idea that's been shaped by thousands of hours of movies and games, a sanitized, almost abstract idea of what a war is.
This quote from our source material really just nails it. The complex, horrifying reality of violence gets pushed to the side. And in its place, we get this carefully built, media-friendly idea, a simulation that is way more palatable and a whole lot easier to swallow than the truth.
And this is why this is so important. When war feels like a movie, when it feels like a video game, when the actual human cost is hidden behind a sleek, cool-looking interface, it becomes much easier to get public support for real-world military action. It desensitizes us, and it lowers the stakes in our minds for what is actually a life-or-death conflict.
So, I'll just leave you with this question. The next time you're scrolling and you see a war edit, or one of those combat compilations set to some trendy song, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what am I really watching here? Is this reality, or is it a carefully crafted symbol that's just designed to look like a game?